Not a lot of people are going to remember what you say, but they will remember what you do and how you do it and how you make them feel. We're going to focus on a certain set of core values when we hire our team. I love working with people, love building teams, love working with teams, love collaborating with teams.
I love all the technology. I think
technology can really enhance, what we do as leaders. We really encourage our team to coach one another.
A lot of knowledge. I love it.
So you really have to be on your toes to stay up with all the changes, very exciting changes. It's just a great industry.
Welcome to Leadership Manufacturing Podcast. I'm your host, Sannah Vinding, and I'm a strategic leader with over 20 years of experience in B2B marketing, product development, and team empowerment. In today's episode, we're going to explore the importance of core values in businesses. Core values are the fundamental beliefs or guidance principles that shape an organization's culture, decision-making, and behavior. They define what matters to the organization and influence how employees interact with each other, customers, and stakeholders. Joining us today is Manny Brunson, a seasoned sales executive with over 15 years of experience at Carlton-Bates company, where he currently serves as Vice President of Sales. Manny is known for his strategic leadership and his ability to build strong partnerships with customers, suppliers, and colleagues. His expertise includes team leadership, strategic supply management, and new business development. So welcome, Manny. I'm excited to have you here today.
Thank you very much, Sannah. I appreciate the invitation, and thanks for the nice introduction.
Oh, of course. So let's jump in. I always ask everybody I have on the podcast, what's their passion and what, excitement about the electronics industry. So I want to hear your answer to this.
Okay. Well, I think you already touched on it a little bit. I mean, the thing that's really kept me involved in the industry has been my passion for leadership. I love working with people, love building teams, love working with teams, love collaborating with teams. Great industry, great people. We get to deal with awesome customers, awesome suppliers and rep organizations. And then, of course, the team that I'm a part of is very awesome. So I think, having the privilege, the opportunity to lead for so many years in this industry is very exciting to me. And then I think, in addition to that, obviously lots of changes in the industry.
Yeah.
So you really have to be on your toes to stay up with all the changes, very exciting changes. It's just a great industry to be a part of. It's been a great career for me. I've enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I love all the technology. I think it's funny now, and if I watch a movie and it's a little bit older,
yes,
they have their phone, right? It's such a time capsule that that was back in.
That's right. That's right.
Something, right? No, but it's just funny how you can now see it's not just the clothes that they're wearing, right, or their hairstyle. The technology that you see around you is just amazing to see how much has happened over the last.
Unbelievable changes. And I think, technology can really enhance, what we do as leaders. I think we have to be careful not to let technology be a substitute for what we do as leaders, but certainly it can enhance what we do as leaders. And so technology has just been, it's been changing at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
And what's going to be happening over the next several years is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. We have to wait and see what happens.
That's right.
Let's come back to the core, right? So Can you tell me more about Carlton-Bates and the core values that you have?
Sure. So, Carlton-Bates, the legacy Carlton-Bates organization, which is now a part of Wesco. Wesco's a $24 billion organization, great company to work for. We're actually known now as Wesco OEM. Many of our suppliers, many of our customers, many of our own people, we still refer to ourselves as Carlton-Bates out of habit, but it's really the Wesco OEM business. I've had the privilege to be a leader in this organization for 15 years, privileged to be in the business for over 40, Sannah. It's hard for me to say that out loud, 40.
A lot of
But
knowledge. I love it.
that's right. That's right. But great organization. I've really enjoyed my time at Carlton-Bates. We have a great team, great people,
Yeah.
great culture. A real privilege to be about a part of the organization.
Yeah, I love it. So I've talked to previous guests on the show where we talked about the culture as well, right? And it is built into the core values that you need to feed the culture, right? It because if you don't feed it, it just dies, and then the whole magic of the company just
Right.
fall apart.
Yeah.
So, what kind of things have you done at Carlton-Bates to keep feeding the culture or the core values?
Yeah, I think when we first came together as a team about 15 years ago, one of the things one of the things that we did is we got together as a team and we came up with a set of core values that everybody could rally around.
Yeah,
I think core values, if you adopt and live a set of core values, that creates a culture.
yeah,
And the culture to me is the most critical foundational element of building a winning team.
yeah,
So we came together as a team. We came up with some core values that we can all rally around. That it's very, very difficult to argue that this should not be a core value. And we published those,
yeah,
and we talked about those core values and how to live those core values in just about every single meeting that we had. And then, we really started to use those core values as a way of filtering who we hired
yeah,
into the organization. A lot of companies, Sannah, will say, the best way to hire people is to be 100% focused on the job duties.
yeah,
But I think we took an opposite approach. We said, we're going to focus on a certain set of core values when we hire our team.
yeah,
And then you can teach job duties,
yeah,
right? But you can't teach things like commitment and honesty
no.
and truth
But the
and
curiosity.
humility.
Yeah,
That's right. That's
yeah,
right. Those kind
yeah,
of things.
yeah,
So, I mean, our team did a great job. We pulled together, came up with a set of solid core values that we could all rally around. And we've really been using those core values as a filter on how we behave and how we recruit
yeah,
for the last 15 years.
yeah. So how many core values do you have, and can you have too many?
Okay. So I think we settled on about 12.
Okay. Yeah.
We can go through some of those if you'd like. I can
Yeah, I would
talk
love to
about
hear
some of
some
those.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in a lot of ways, Santa, it's common sense. But we chose things like entrepreneurial integrity. So we talk about treating the business the way that you would treat your own money, right? Having a level of integrity in
Yeah.
terms of how you handle the company's business, how you handle the company's money. We talked about leading by example.
Yeah.
I've found over the years that as a leader, you know, teams don't really remember a lot about what you say, but they do remember what you do.
Yeah.
And they do remember how you make them feel. So I think that's really what we mean by leading by example. Zero entitlement is a
Yeah.
core value that we have. So, um, you know, really working to earn our position with every single client, working to earn our position with every single supplier and rep organization. So, what we teach is if you're a member of the supply chain, a client, supplier, a rep, whatever the position is, if you have choices, then we need to treat you like a client
Yeah.
so that ultimately they'll make the choices for us, or that's at least the goal.
Right.
So, those are some of the core values. I can talk about more of them if you would like.
Yeah. I would love to hear like a few more.
Okay. So I think another one we selected was, be a happy warrior. We want people that are joyful
Yeah.
and are really competing to win in the industry. We want people that are treating the business like it's a competition, because it is. right? We're competing against our competitors. We're
And we
competing
all know
against.
each other. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So we want people that are competitive and that are they can be a happy warrior. They're joyful for the most
Yeah.
part. Every day's not fun at work. We all know that. We all have difficult days,
Yeah.
but we can overcome those and be happy in our jobs and be joyful in our jobs. And I think, finding people that really want to compete and have almost like an athlete's mentality in terms
Yeah.
of how they approach the business, as opposed to somebody that just comes in and maybe they're just checking the box.
Yeah.
They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're checking the box. We want people that can really, really compete. Working hard, somebody that's willing to hustle. I think, I learned growing up playing athletics that there's no excuse to get outworked. There's no excuse to be out hustled,
Yeah.
right? So we have control over that, of how hard we work and whether or not we hustle in the business. We don't really have control over how smart we are, right? So that's a good thing for me, by the way,
Yeah.
Sannah. So I think having people that are really willing to work hard and hustle, again, something that they have control over,
Yeah.
is really, really important in the business. And I think somebody that's willing to overcome obstacles.
Yeah.
That's a core value for us, is overcoming obstacles. You have to be courageous. You have to be persistent in order to overcome obstacles. And as you know, many, many obstacles come up in this business that we have to overcome as a
Yeah.
team. So I think, that's pretty much the core of the values that we came up with. There's a few more, but, about
Yeah.
12 in all. And I think all of those are things that the team can look at, those core values, and they can go, hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Hard to disagree with that one, right? Those make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. But 12 is a lot, I think. It
It
would
is.
be overwhelming. So if I'm forcing you here, right, to say pick the top 3, what will that be?
Okay. I think leading by example
Yeah.
is really key, because whether you're a leader or whether you're an individual contributor, any part of a team member, you can lead,
Yeah.
right? Everybody has individual, unique, God-given talents that they can share with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And so I think just leading by example is really, really important to
Yeah.
me. And I think it's important to the rest of the team. Like I said earlier, not a lot of people are going to remember what you say, but they will remember what you
Yeah.
do and how you do it and how you make them feel. So I think that one's really, really important. And I think, I think zero entitlement is a big one for me. I want people that are working hard every day to earn their position
Yeah.
with clients and with suppliers and with reps. I think that's very, very critical element of winning in the business environment. And then, all of the, I think to me, the core of all of this are things that are just fundamental moral and ethical values that we can translate
Yeah.
into winning in the business environment. So whether it's being truthful, whether it's being honest, whether it's being humble, the core values really embody just those core moral and ethical values that I
Yeah.
think are really, really important when you're trying to win as a business person.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. What about, the continuous development, right? So you can become that better leader or become that better team colleague, or just,
Right.
improving. And still, of course, follow all these guidance with the core values. How does Carlton-Bates support that you have this continuous improvement?
Okay, so I think people's desire or willingness to continuously improve in their individual roles is critical. When you think about when you think about building a winning team, if you imagine a pyramid, at the foundational part of a winning team is having those core values that that everybody can rally around and live, and that creates a culture.
Yeah.
And then the leaders have to live those core values and hire people and coach people that are on the team that where they're continuously improving. Because when you think about it, there's only two ways that I know that you can improve team performance, Sannah. One is every individual on the team makes a commitment to get better at their job. That's one way to improve a team.
Yeah.
The other way to improve a team is to hire people that are going to have a positive influence or to add value to the team.
Yeah.
So I don't know of another way to improve a team other than those two.
Yeah.
So I think, having a commitment to continuously improve is really, really important. So I think, the way that we accomplish that, we have regular trainings about individual skills, within the Wesco organization that we can take advantage of.
Yeah.
But we really encourage our team to coach one another and hold each other accountable, and just so that we can learn from each other the different skill sets that each team member has that you bring together and have an awesome team.
Yeah, I like that. So it sounds easy, right? You're hiring, you have your core values. I'm sure there's also some days where it's not going as good as you're saying sometimes.
Right.
You just said that as well, right? So
Right.
when you have these difficult days or you have this difficult employee, how do you turn it around? What kind of conversations do you have to turn it around?
Good question. So I think the key to having maybe a tough conversation or a coaching conversation with someone that might not be doing well or might be struggling, might be underperforming a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the key is to be honest with them.
Yeah.
Right. You can be truthful and honest with them and still love them, so to speak. Right. So I think that is critical, is just having an honest, truthful conversation about, hey, here's some things that you're doing really well, but here's some things that we need to work on together. And here's some things that we really need to improve.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very important. I think people respond to that. I think, people that are really wise understand that constructive criticism or constructive feedback is a gift, right? It's easy to tell somebody what they want to hear.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy, but it doesn't help you. So when I look back in my career, I always appreciated the people that would pull me aside and say, hey, you might want to think a different way about how you said this or do this, right? You might want to spend a little bit more time thinking about this. Here's some areas that you can improve in. I really appreciated that when I look back on my career.
I like that. So that actually turns into my next question, because I wanted to ask you, how do you know if you are a good leader?
Well, I think I think you'd have to ask the people that I lead, if I'm a good leader. But I think that one of the things that you can look at is whether or not your team is winning.
Yeah.
Right? Whether your team is winning, whether your team is improving, whether your team is acting with integrity and winning with integrity. I mean, obviously, in this business, Sannah, you're going to have some good years and you're going to have some bad years.
Yeah.
But is the team doing everything within their power to maximize their performance, giving the circumstances or giving the cards that they were dealt?
Yeah.
So I think that's one way to look at it. I think, I ask for feedback quite a bit. I say, tell me what I can do better.
Yeah.
Tell me what I can do better as a leader. Tell me where I'm letting you down. Tell me where I'm falling short.
Yeah.
And my team does a really good job of giving me that type of feedback, which I also appreciate.
Yeah, but that it also builds some trust, right? When you can have that kind of conversation.
That's right.
That makes an even stronger team, I think. But
Yeah.
you have to earn it, right, to get at that point.
You have to earn it, and I think when your goal as a leader is to serve others, right?
Yeah.
That's really the core of our team. Is when I look out across the team that I have, they are really working every day to serve their team,
Yeah.
to serve those around them, and so one way I think to determine if you're being a good leader or not is how are you serving those around you?
Yeah.
And it's always good to ask for that type of feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Sometimes you also have the silent feedback, even if it's just
Yes.
how you're standing, right? Or if it's just the words that's not said. How do you read that person or that colleague, and how do you handle it?
Yeah, good question. So, one of the things that we've been really focused on, especially since the pandemic, is uh, every spending as much time as we can face to face
Yeah.
with our team,
Yeah.
right? And to your point, if you're going to really read your team and understand their demeanor, get good feedback, um, it's easier to get that face to face.
Yeah.
I think when you're face to face with somebody,
Yeah.
sitting in a room together with somebody and having an honest, authentic conversation with that person, they're much more likely, to be authentic with you. So
Yeah.
whether that's feedback or whether it's their demeanor, being able to read that and really listen and watch, those are two very invaluable traits of leadership, is just listening and
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah. It is, right? There's so much more to say when you are actually in the same room.
That's
Uh,
right.
yeah.
That's
But
right.
you don't have that all the time, right? Because we are,
Don't have it
global
all the
company.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Here
Yeah.
we are,
Yeah.
doing this podcast, and we're
Yeah.
doing it virtually, and it's working great. I just think that as leaders, we want to spend as much face-to-face time with our
Yeah.
team as possible.
Yeah.
Right. You go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I just want to go further, like within the electronics industry here, So what kind of challenges do you see that the leaders have right now?
Yeah, I think obvious statement, but a very, very chaotic work environment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our company, um, it's where no company, no business ever has the number of resources that they want
Yeah.
or they
Nope.
need to be successful. Right, especially
Yeah.
coming out of the pandemic,
Yeah.
suppliers, our suppliers have fewer people,
Yeah.
rep organizations have fewer people, our clients have fewer people. A lot of
Yeah.
them didn't hire back the engineers, and are outsourcing more. So I think every single element of the supply chain, people are pressed for resources,
Yeah.
and they're really, really struggling with time management and prioritization and things like that. And so I think that is a big challenge in the industry. Is we have fewer people. It's a chaotic work environment. There's more pressure on each individual to do more,
Yeah.
right, and to be more productive. And that sort of cascades out across the industry. And I think it creates a big challenge for workers, especially when it comes to making sure that you don't get fatigue, making sure that you don't get burnout and things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that type of stuff going on in the industry. People are tired, people are burned out.
Yeah.
People are, work-life balance is becoming more and more important. That
Yeah.
is a big challenge for me. Now, that's not unique to the electronics industry. right? That's unique to every industry, but I think unique to the electrical and the electronics industry. Some of the coming technologies like AI,
Yeah.
how is that going to impact what we do?
Yeah.
Right. Things like that are unknown, I think, are challenges where it's yet to be determined.
Yeah. Agree. And with the AI, I think we're still just in the steps on saying it's an advanced calculator, right?
That's
That's
right.
so much more to come.
That's
So
right.
with all these challenges, how have you changed your leadership style over the last couple of years?
So I don't know. I don't know that I've changed my style
No?
a
Yeah.
lot. I think again, you'd have to ask my
Yes.
team, what they thought about that.
I'll have a
But I
follow-up
think,
episode here. No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
but I think, to me, the fundamental approach to leadership, the fundamental approach to building a winning team, nurturing a winning team. There's certain things that don't really change
Yeah.
that much, right? In terms of how you approach it.
Yeah.
Now, we had to make adjustments during the pandemic. We had to make adjustments coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
We have to make adjustments of how we lead. Every change in the industry brings about different challenges, but in terms of the core and the fundamentals of how I lead, I really have tried to remain
Yeah.
consistent and constant in my approach.
Yeah. I like that. So last question I have, and I love this question. So if
Okay.
if you have to go back in time and give yourself an advice like 10 or 15 years ago, what will that be, Manny?
I think tough question. Tough
Yeah.
question. I think that, you know, one of the things that I talked about at the very beginning, and when we were doing, we had some conversations coming into this discussion. Is the worldview that I have around leadership is really a biblical worldview, and so I think for me, the advice that I would give to myself would be maybe I could have been a little more bold
Yeah.
earlier in my
Yeah.
career, right? And in that approach,
Yeah.
and I think just having a little bit more boldness, would probably have benefited me earlier in my career.
Yeah.
But it's been such a blessing to have the privilege of a leadership role in this industry, Sannah.
Yeah.
And, I'm just so grateful to have that privilege and that responsibility. It really is a privilege to be a leader,
Yeah.
right? It is a privilege. It is a responsibility. And I'm just really, really grateful for the opportunity to do that over the years and have great teammates over the years.
Over the years. Oh, you sound like a really great leader, Manny. I really like it. And I really like how, the whole with the core values, that's what makes the company. I think it's so strong. And just asking you about it here, I'm as well like how you just saying we have that one, we have that one, we have that one, it's built into your, to the personality that you are, which just show how strong you are as a leader. So I really like it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So thank you so much, Manny, for being a guest on the podcast. I know we talked about it for a few months, so I'm so happy that it actually happened. So I like that. So thank you so much.
Sannah, thank you very much for inviting me and having me on. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Leadership in Manufacturing podcast. I love that you're listening. Please find us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, and be sure to subscribe and rate us. Also, follow our LinkedIn page and Instagram, and check out leadershipinmanufacturing.com for previous episodes, blog posts, and our newsletter. So let's continue this journey together to become better leaders in the electronics industry. Remember, stay curious, keep learning. See you next time.